Ugh. Good morning. How are you all doing? I have to pause this for a second. Hey, I'm back. Okay, so now I'm not cloudy and hazy. There for a minute, I thought maybe I was in a fog. I am mentally in a fog. My eye is watering. My allergies are acting crazy today. Mainly because yesterday we were at the campsite cleaning that up. I'm a little late getting up this morning. I did not want to wake up this morning. I mean, I wanted to wake up, but my body's like revolting. I think I feel every muscle I have. Which is weird because I don't even know. But anyway. So, I've been working on something. Y'all already know if you've been watching my channel. I'm working on a gift for my granddaughter. It's a unicorn. And, yeah. Anyway, I got it all put together. And over the years, I've learned better techniques with Amigurumi. So I've learned to hide certain things, like decreases where you don't have the gaps, and use special stitches so that whenever you do back loop only, it's a nice sturdy stitch, not just a floppy, weird, loose stitch. And, you know, all this fun stuff. But anyway, so I've been working on it, and I got it somewhat, I got its mane, the front of its mane done. Now I got to do its back of its head and its tail. And this is where I'm at right now with him. And his eyes are in there. But this is that rainbow, that glitz yarn. The glitz yarn from Ice. And I don't know, it's not the brightest rainbowy color there is. It looks like it is in here, but when you crochet it up, the transition between the colors, you get some muted colors. And so it's not a bright green. So basically what happens is you lose, if you are transitioning from this green to the turquoise, you'll chain out turquoise and you're like, oh, it's going to be beautiful. And then you chain back and it's chained back this color, this dinge color. Well, it really mutes out the brightness of the bright colors. And I decided I wasn't going to do color, what do they call it, color controlling. I wasn't going to color control it. It's okay. I'm not the happiest with it. However, it doesn't look bad. But if you see, like on this one here, see how it's, well, there's one on here, it's really obvious. Yeah, it's this one. So you have purple, and then it comes back green. Okay, so it makes it look real muddy. But, I mean, with all the other colors, I guess it doesn't look too bad. I don't know. Anyway, I started out with yellow and went to this color. And then the row underneath, that's one row. And I did 4 trindles. I'm going to call them trindles. 4 trindles per section. So I got 4 across here. And then you lift these up. And then the bottom ones, there's 4 sets of trindles on the bottom too. And then that's, shake it out. There we go. And you can pull some in the back like this if you want. Like that. Mullet. Hey, it's a reverse mullet. So anyway, here he is. And yeah, so I don't know why he kept his head. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. He's straight. I hate to say this. He is. I don't know why it's doing that. It just keeps doing it more and more. But I think he's cute. I don't care. My granddaughter's going to love him. It's fine. But anyway, so there's where I'm at, and I have this to work on. And you probably saw my video where I had this hanging on my front porch, and the wind was blowing, and it just kept spinning out. And my husband was like, where'd all your yarn go? And I'm like, what? It was all over the side of my house, all over the side yard. It was so close. It was over the top of the air conditioning unit. Oops, sorry. there we go. Over top of the air conditioning unit. So we're like rolling it back up, trying to get it before it gets sucked in there. Could you imagine if this got sucked into the air conditioning unit? It would like, and the thing would go crazy. And I'd look and I'd be like, where did my dang yarn go? But anyway, so now I've got it under better control because my husband got me this from an auction. It's a fruit basket.
Banana basket.
And it's got a banana hook on it. And I just put that, well, like this can be hung, but it'd be too long. So I put it in the top spin and then I just hang that over. And it works perfectly. And because it's metal, I got my magnets here with my hooks. I use a magnet, one of them hook magnets from your refrigerator. One of these. And I hook it right here. And it's got my stitch markers. And my stitch markers are metal. So they do that. And then I put another magnet from a computer because my husband breaks down old computers and takes the magnets out. But I got my my needles there. And then I got my compression gloves if I need them there. But that's my contraption for in the house, sitting on my side table. So now all I got to do now for this thing is figure out how many chains to make the length for this. I want it longer than this. These were 20, I chained out 26, so this is 25 chain. So 25 chain. These are 25 chain. I chained 25. So should I do half again more of them? So 51. Because I gotta do one extra, so that because I have to do the skip a chain thing backwards. So should I do the backside 50 length? I'm thinking, and then do 60 or more for the tail. The tail's gonna go right here. I'm just gonna go from here to here. I'm gonna just go from the horn to there with the mane, not all the way down. Not into the neck. I'm not going to do it into the neck. That'll look weird. So I'm going to like go maybe 4 rows from the neck. Yeah. My husband's sitting here beside me going like, I don't know. I'm so exciting and entertaining for him.
String knots.
He hates knots and strings. He doesn't understand how or wires. Oh, you should have seen him yesterday at the campsite. That was hilarious. We had brand new drop lines, extension cords. Oh, and my table, you see the grid? I have a magnet over here. You can't see it. It's underneath the table. And I just set my hook, or not my hook, but here, I'll move it over here. See, it's moving moving my scissors around. You see it? Anyway, there's a magnet right there. Nope, you can't see it. Anyway, there's a magnet right here. Let me move it this way. I don't know what's going on with it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, there's a magnet right here. Right? Oh, it's going further away. Let's go this way. There we go. There is a magnet right here. This could go on it. There we go. Anyway, it holds my scissors where they need to be, so I don't drop them on the floor. And then I'm using a dot. I normally use clovers, but these are just the same. They're just longer shaft, and still using 3.5 millimeter. So I think I'm gonna try 51. 50. I'm gonna chain 51 and try that. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, in the last video I did, I was talking about my baby hairs. Oh my gosh, you guys, I got so many. And I have a friend that I have gray here and I have gray here. I got more gray on this side than I do this side. But anyway, it's skunking out. It's heading direction. I look like a skunk. Now when I have my hair down, I don't look so skunky, but whenever I put my hair back, it looks like it's growing that direction. It's just my bangs. But anyway, I have a friend. she used to pluck her gray hairs out of her head. Could you imagine if I was plucking, because they grow back. I have baby hairs that are gray. So, if I plucked all that out, I'd have the biggest bald spots right here. It would look heinous.
Isn't that called alopecia? Where you pull all your hair out till you have none?
I don't know.
No, that's a disease. I'm just kidding. You would look like you have alopecia, though. You pull all your hair out.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, I know what that means, but I don't. I'd have to Google it, and I don't have, I'm on my camera. So.
It's a scalp disorder that you lose hair.
I don't know. Anyway. So anyway, she used to pick her hair out. All over her head, she'd pull her gray hairs out. I go, what are you doing? And she goes, well, it's dead hair. And I'm like, is it falling out? And she goes, no. And I go, then it's not dead. The hair that falls out of your head is dead hair. Unless you're like ripping it out of your head when you're brushing it. But if you're having to pull it out and by the root, it's still alive. And so you are, I'm getting steam in my glasses because my eye's watering. Allergies. Anyway, that was so funny. She finally quit doing that. And so now she just colors her hair all the time because her and I are the same age. I'm 56. I don't dye my hair. I mean, I'm not begrudging anybody who want to dye their hair, but she dyes her hair all the time. And then she wants all this stuff done to her hair and then complains about her hair being damaged. Stop messing with it. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, blueberry coffee creamer, and Randy made coffee this morning, so I stole some out of his pot.
Good. Made it strong.
What one is it?
I don't know. One of the ones you got from Costco.
We like to buy whole bean. I could have sworn something walking down the street.
It's the one that's
Animal.
supposed to be cream or something like that. You want me to go get the stupid bag?
Sure, I don't care. They'll be glad to be shared, the information.
You gotta make it strong.
Anyway, so we grind our own beans, and then I will, if I find whole bean blueberry coffee, if I can find whole bean blueberry coffee that doesn't cost me my arm and leg to buy it. I mean, if it costs me like a couple fingers, that'd be okay, but an arm and a leg, I draw the line at that. Oh, okay. It's called Organic Velvet Moon Espresso Roast. And it's Cameron's, you little shit. Cameron's.
Is it okay? Can be here.
Cameron's Smooth Coffee. Always smooth, never bitter. Organic Velvet Moon Espresso Roast. Earthy Sweet Complex. Whole bean, medium to dark roast. Got this at Costco. Yeah.
It's okay.
It's not bad. It tastes alright. Especially with blueberry creamer in it.
Your bag's about to blow off.
So, thanks, babe.
I'm going back to make a noise.
Okay. He's mowing our lawn today. We did our yard work at the campsite yesterday. That took us almost 5 hours. In fairness, we were using weed eaters or weed whackers or edgers or whatever y'all want to call them. Anyway, we call them weed whackers. Well, I saw one on YouTube. I was like flipping around on YouTube and I saw this guy mowing this lawn with a weed whacker and I'm like, what? And it was in a little tiny, like, it looked like a little mower deck. And it's like 12-inch mower deck. It's little. So, well, the deck's bigger. The string is a 12-inch radius. 12-inch, it'll do a 12-inch circle. Well, the deck is a little bit bigger than that. It allows you to mow right up close without damaging anything that it's mowing or weeding against. So if you're not good and if you have, like back problems or you can't carry a weed eater or anything, it's amazing because you just slide the little thing into the deck and it latches in place and you just push it like you're vacuuming. you're vacuuming your lawn. And you're like, you know, taking out the grass. It's pretty sweet. Anyway, I saw that thing. Excuse me. And I was like, this is perfect. So he got me one, and I love it because after a while, holding a trimmer, you call them trimmers too, holding one up for a long period of time starts wearing on my shoulders and my forearms and my every bit of my arms, and it causes my back to start hurting because then I compensate with my back, and it's just a mess. Well, anyway, and when we lived in Idaho, we had this other, and it had a blade on it, and it had a harness thing that you hook on, and it held it in the front for you. Like all you did was guide it. It was being held by a harness thing here, and you just guided it with your hand. You didn't actually hold it up. Your body held it up. Sorry, I have the worst posture. This is me sitting up straight. And after a while, this bothers me. Unless I have something to put back here. But anyway, so I'm like crouched down like this. Well, anyway, so we sold that, and now I wish we still had it because it was so nice. It was so nice. It takes down saplings and everything, and it would make short order of our fence row over there, like in no time. The only thing that would be left in there would be big trees. I mean, because it would take short order. Wipe it out, like grass, weeds, everything. And then you can also take it and you can like tap it. Like if you have poison ivy growing up a tree, I know I'm going off on a thing, but if you have poison ivy growing up a tree, just on the little thing and it would take care of it. Anyway, so I was using the little the mower thing. We got it. We got the little trimmer. It's a Black & Decker, correct? Yeah.
It's Black & Decker. It's a weed whacker with wheel.
Yeah, it's Black & Decker. And I'll try to find, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll try to find it on the internet somewhere, Home Depot or Lowe's, wherever, you know, and I will put it on in my description box in the share section of channels I talk about or whatever. I'll share that and you can check it out yourself. It's really nice. I like it. It is electric. I don't know if they have a battery operated one, but and a lot of people are like, well, I don't like to have to drag a cord. I don't either, but it's not too shabby. It's not bad. It's not hateful. I don't mind it. It ain't hateful. So anyway, but because we were using those and stuff, because we didn't want to take our $600. Remember the lawnmower situation? Yeah. Anyway, so we ended up spending $600 on a push mower. We ain't taking that to the campground because you don't know what was in that ground because we had that storm come through. And there was branches everywhere and bits of trees everywhere. And so I didn't want to mow over all that stuff. Anywho, so we took the trimmers over there. Randy had the double trimmer, the double side trimmer. And then I had the Black & Decker push mower thing. And, you know, I vacuumed basically the whole place. And Randy did some trimming. And then we trimmed around the trees and burned up all the sticky sticks. And I did some hacking with our hatchet, on some poison ivy vines that were going up some trees that was too close to my porch swing that's over there. But it was a beautiful day. It was wonderful out yesterday. It's supposed to be a beautiful day today. Sadly, you're going to hear my husband mowing because he's mowing this lawn today. And no worries, he's on the 0 turn. So he's not going to be... We have way too much lawn to be push mowing it. I think that if we had kids today, if our boys were still around and they were young and they did something they weren't supposed to be doing or whatever, they'd get to push mow it with an actual push mower. I wouldn't make them do it with the weed eater. I mean, they would have to really screw up for me to give them the Black & Decker weed eater mower. Yeah. They would have to really be in trouble for that. But anyway, my one son, my oldest son that's in the Air Force, sorry, my ear itches. He would be like, he would relish that. He'd be like, oh, it's a workout. And he would turn it into something, you know, positive. Because he would always, that's how he did. If they got in trouble, I'm watching a buzzard. If they got in trouble, They had to clean out the horse paddock, clean the horse poop up, because we used to have horses in Idaho. And they'd have to clean that, or they had to, do whatever. It was yard work or something physical related that they would have to do. Like when my kids were little, and they, some people put their kids in a corner. My kids had to do moon squats or the invisible chair. They had to sit like that for time was based on age and condition. My two sons, I know I'm down a rabbit hole for a minute. I'm going to go on this squirrel trail, rabbit trail, deer trail, whatever you want to call this trail. So anyway, my two sons were very active in sports and stuff. His two sons, they were, when they were little, active in sports, but as they got older, they were more like the indoor kids that sat around playing on computers and basically sat in the house all the time. They didn't like to go outside and do anything. Anyway, so totally, his two and my two, polar opposites. Whatever my kids are in it, these two were not. So they were not the same. Not the same. So like if you take two magnets and you try to put them together, either they're going to connect or you flip them around and they push apart from each other. Well, our kids were push apart from each other. Every once in a while they'd click, depending on what it was. But anyway, so whenever my two sons got in trouble, they'd have to do the moon squats. They'd have to sit, we'll say at, they were in like kindergarten, first grade or whatever. They'd have to stand there, sit there. And I know people have been like, what? You'd have to know my kids. Anyway, they would have to sit there for like 4 to 5 minutes. They would have to sit in a fake chair. They had to put their back against the wall and squat down like they're sitting in a chair. So they'd have to push their feet, take their feet, plant their feet, shoulder length apart, push against the thing, squat down, and sit in that chair with their hands on their knees for 5 minutes. 4 to 5 minutes, depending on what it was, And they did it. And they never, when they first started, it was like for 1 minute or 2 minutes. So don't act like crazy. By the time they were up to 4 and 5 minutes, my sons probably could sit there for probably 10. Because they're active. They were very active children. They were in sports. They were physically fit. His children, though, we did not do it that long. They couldn't handle it. His one son, we told him he had to stay there for a minute, and he wasn't even, I don't even know. No, he had to stay there for 2 minutes. That's right, because he wasn't even 30 seconds in, and his legs were shaking, and he was freaking out. And it's like, because they weren't active. They weren't, it's nothing against them. They just weren't. So you had to punish the kids per se. And I had to explain that to my children, my boys. I was like, hey guys, I know that, that y'all get punished for the same thing, but trust me, they're all getting punished for the same thing. Like, just because you have to stand there longer, it's because you can handle it. We have to put you to the point of punishment. Because you guys could do this for fun. They get punished within 2 to 3 minutes. And don't think they weren't stupid, or they were stupid, because they weren't, his boys. They were very smart. In fact, his one son would pretend like, oh, it's killing me. And there for a minute, a couple times, I believed it. But then I was like, I'm like, you ain't playing games. You're going to go 2 minutes longer. I don't care. You're going 2 minutes longer. So, but it's funny now that I talked to his oldest son now, he's like, that was the best punishment, because it's like for them. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody's kids. That was our kids. And, and there was times when there was other punishment given, depending on what it was. It's all relative on what they did wrong. And I'm not saying that. I know a lot of people have problems with I'll say corporal punishment, which is paddling. Okay, there are some people that have a lot of problem with paddling or corporal punishment for their kids, and I'm not against it. There is a time and a place for every punishment. I was punished corporally. I was paddled when I was a kid. I was also grounded. Was never sat in a chair, you know, or anything like that, but I was never put in a corner, but I did get paddled, and I was grounded. And my groundings came when I got older. When I was littler, I got paddled. When I was older, I got grounded. Now, I wasn't beaten, okay? I was paddled. You know, like I might get like 3 swats. It depends on what it was, you know. I might get 2. Nothing more than 3. But anyway, the grounding was awful. As a teenager, I could only imagine what grounding would be like today in this world. Because in the 80s, us Gen X's, it's like we didn't have cell phones and all that other crap. So all I had is my clock radio, because she would take my jam box and stuff like that away from me. But I had to be in my room. I'd come home. If I was late coming home, I got grounded for a week. And then when I got ungrounded, if I was late again, it was 2 weeks. Again, 3 weeks. I think I racked up 2.5 months of grounding once. I was always late. Anyway, sorry, this turned into a crazy stuff. But, you know, whatever. So, but anyway, so, you know, and it sucked, you know, to be in your room with nothing but a clock radio. I couldn't even I couldn't even set up and record my favorite music for my mixtapes. It was bad. So I spent my time piddling around cleaning my room. And if I was really grounded, my mom took the cords off the TVs. She would take the phone cord so I couldn't make phone calls. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to do anything. I was on house arrest. Yeah, house arrest. Which was death, man. It was death for you. Back in the day. House arrest. You could walk around your yard. I'm not kidding you. I would get so stir crazy at prom that I would walk the perimeter of our property like a border collie or some kind of herding dog. I'm like, I would climb trees. I'd sit up in the mulberry tree. Hey, you know, kids today have no idea what they're missing. They're too busy with their face in the camera, like I'm in the face of the camera right now. They're too busy with that. I think that today, if my kids were kids today and they had, well, for starters, I will tell you this, disclaimer, if my children were children today, like little ones, my children are grown, they're in their 30s. So, if my babies were babies today, they would be the most backward kids ever. Well, for starters, they'd be homeschooled. Bar none. Be homeschooled. I would never, no. And the other thing is, sorry to my family out there, which they probably don't watch my videos, but sorry, I have school teachers. I have cousins and stuff that are school teachers. They know how I feel about it anyway. And not all of them are hateful about it. They don't mind. They understand. So anyway, they'd be homeschooled. That'd be starters. Second of all, they wouldn't have cell phones at all, like at all, and they wouldn't have their own game consoles in their bedrooms. There would be no TVs in their bedrooms because they didn't have that stuff when they were growing up. Whenever they were younger, anyway. And my youngest was born in '91. So if anybody wants to know where I was at in the era-wise of my kids, my first son was born in 1988, and my second son was born in 1991. So there was cell phones and computers and video games. They weren't the video games of today, like the metaverse and all that stuff, MetaQuest or whatever. They weren't that, virtual reality or nothing. But anyway, we had a computer in our home, and we had 2, and the only networking gaming that they could do was between the 2 the 2 consoles, the 2 home computers. So if they wanted to play something like Diablo or something they wanted to connect, they could connect that way. They could play with each other. They couldn't go online and play. They couldn't go online for anything. They didn't have cell phones. They weren't allowed cell phones. They wouldn't be allowed to have them today. Today would be really weird. Like, there would be a video game console, and they would have to share it. So they would have to take time. They wouldn't have computers. They wouldn't have laptops. You know, all these schools are like, well, if you get on the there's one computer, and it's going to be in a central location, and you're going to do your homework in sections. You're all going to have time on the computer. This is why homeschooling would be great. And if you are going to public school, if you have your kids in public school, get together with everybody and tell them you want block schooling, because that is amazing. Because then you have A-Day, B-Day, and the kids have way more time in the classroom with the teacher whenever they're getting into high school and stuff. In the grade school, that's not a thing. But block schooling, amazing. Never have homework. They have time there to do it. The school provides you with the computers they need to get down their stuff, and they're monitoring your kids for you. So if they get on porn at the school or whatever, it's not your problem, it's their problem, because they suck at what they do at keeping their kids safe. Just saying. And the reason I'm speaking this is, I'm not speaking this out of I'm just not picking it out of the sky. We had this problem. My children looking at porn, but other kids in the computer room doing stuff, and my child was in the computer room. Anyway, so I am very well versed on what kind of dipshit stuff can go on in a high school, in school with kids. It's ridiculous. But anyway, today my kids wouldn't have cell phones, and I know a lot of people's like, how do they get a hold of you with a phone? And here's my thing with cell phones. Kids will lie. I mean, when they're little, they'll tell you the truth. You know, they say, kids will say something, if you want to know if you're fat in a dress or whatever, ask a little kid because they can't tell you a lie. Well, okay, that's not true. That's not true. And kids will lie. Yes, they will. And I like how people go, well, he's telling a story. Timmy's telling you a story. No, Timmy's not. He's lying to you. Straight up, just lying. If he was telling a story, it'd be like, once upon a time, but you can tell when a kid's telling a tall tale or whatever. But if you're asking him a question and he starts going into this lengthy conversation and telling you about something, and it's crazy town or whatever, he's lying. They're lying. That's just a fact. Anyway, and they've been emboldened. My grandson wants to have a discussion about what's going on and try to reason it out with you. He's in 2nd grade. It's like, I don't think so. You don't know what you're talking about. Zip it. Go get your room clean. My son's like, I ain't gonna play. That ain't playing. So my son is raising his kids like he was, because he found that, not totally the same, but his children, they don't get to watch whatever they want on TV. They don't know about the new fangled shows and stuff that's on. They don't get to play Minecraft or what's the other ones? Them games. They're not allowed to. Fortnite? Yeah, Fortnite. They're not allowed to play those. My grandson's not allowed to play those. My granddaughters are too little, but my grandson is not allowed to play those. He can play Minecraft on his on whatever it is, Switch. I don't know what he plays it on. Anyway, I don't know anything. But he's only allotted so much time, and he has to earn the time with doing chores and doing his homework. He's allotted time to play it, and that's it. And once the time's up, time's up. Just like at our house when they were kids. When I tell you have 2 hours to play your game, better pay attention. And if you get 2 hours to play your game, that doesn't mean that when so if it takes you an hour and 45 minutes to get to a place to save, and you've saved it, if you only have 15 minutes left, whatever it is you do for that last 15 minutes, it better not be anything that you have to find a save space for. Because if you can't save your game, I don't know what to tell you. It's getting shut down. You're going to have to start all over from your save space that you did an hour and 45 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? So, at the hour and 45 minute part. So, and this has happened to my kids got it pretty quickly. My youngest stepson, though, he was the pushy button one. So he would stay out, and he was like, I gotta find this place to save. You gotta wait. And I'm like, you knew you had 2 hours. Like, you need to learn how to budget your time. See, there was a learning experience in this whole thing. So he wouldn't do it every single time. Well, after a while, I was like, I'm done with this, because he was getting more time to play on the games than everybody else, because he was waiting to go out, or to save. So I started doing this. Save your game and look at your time, and if you ain't got enough time to play and save, then shut it off, and then you're done. And he wouldn't do it. So I would just walk over to the power supply to the house, grab the main circuit breaker thing, and whenever I said, you got 3 minutes or you got 5 minutes, I was standing there holding that thing for 5 minutes. I'm like, you got 2 minutes. At 2 hours, the whole house went black. I ain't saying the other kids didn't get irritated, because they might have been listening to something they were wanting to listen to, or watching a movie or whatever. But we all got punished for one kid doing something stupid. So, yeah. But anyway, he learned real quick. I think it took like 2 or 3 times to power out the whole house. He got mad at me one time, called me something very derogative. And he got brain dusted. I just put it down. If you're Gen X, you know what I meant. I'm not going to go into it, what it is. But he got a brain dusting. He's fine. No, it wasn't like that. He got a brain duster. I got him from my dad when I did something I wasn't supposed to. What's the matter with you, kind of thing. It's like, get your shit together. What's the matter with you? So if you're Gen X and you know what a brain duster, I don't have to go into what that was. But he got a brain duster for that. Because you don't call me that. No, nothing like that come out of your mouth, not a child's mouth. Anyway, so I'm gonna stop this video, upload this video, because I just went on a tangent about stuff, so that I can come back and do a video for you about my body here, because I'm gonna work on some trundles for his mane back here, and I'm thinking 50. So I'm gonna start another video here in a little bit, and do that, since today's a wonderful day, and I'm just going to relish this wonderful day that the Lord hath gave us. And yeah. And I know y'all, okay, I will say this also. Yes, I am a Christian. Yes, I am sinful one, I will say that. We all are. But I say stuff, I act specific, do specific things, act specific ways, and I have family members that are very staunch Christians, very staunch, or religious people. Okay, there's Christian and there's religious people. I have very staunch religious people in my family, and they think that I'm just, you're not a Christian, do you hear how you talk? You act. Look how you wear dress. Look how you act. Look how beating on the Bible, like fire and brimstone. Yep, I got a mouth like a sailor. I probably can make a sailor or a trucker blush. I'm very tame on here because I have a dirty mouth. I have a bad mouth. I'm trying, guys. I really try not to. I think the only time I really swear a lot is really in my own home, around my own me and my husband. But I try not to. I really do try not to. But I like to watch things. I like to listen to music. And I don't have a pickiness about it. I don't like instrumental. I'm not into Bach and Mozart and stuff. I like rap music. I like hip hop. I like rock. I like country. Country's my favorite. I like southern rock. I like southern country. I like the hip hop. I like what they call crap, the country rap. I don't like Taylor Swift and I don't like Beyonce. Okay, all you people, you can unfollow me now. But I don't like Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie. And I don't like Beyonce. And she needs to stay in her own lane with that country music. What is that? And I don't like or I mean, I can unlike certain people for their actions. Like, what's the one of my mind? Like, I have respect for some, you know, like actors are supposed to act and musicians are supposed to be musicians. They're here to entertain you. Like, I've seen, I'm tired of saying like, I've seen a lot of podcasters and stuff talk about how they're monkeys, they're entertainment monkeys. They need to do their job, you know. Play the tambourine, monkey, play the tambourine, or the cymbals, clash of cymbals, monkey. They're trained monkeys and they're supposed to do their job. Okay, I don't want to use that terminology, but that's what I've heard. So they are paid to act and to sing. They're not paid to tell me who they like in the politics worlds. They're not paid to come out and talk to me about their sexuality. They're not paid for me to find out what they do, you know, with their banking, with their medications, who they go to get their hair done. I don't care. That's not what you are. Unless you're singing, I don't care. I don't care who you're dating. None of that, right? So, but if you're going to bring yourself forward and you're going to talk about certain things and act on certain things and defend certain things or whatever, that's going to make or break you with me. Which is sad because unless I have any mail. Okay, shush, shush, shush. It's the mail lady. You know who that is. Oh my gosh, Sally. Okay, Sally. He stopped barking. Did you not notice? She's so funny because he barked and so she's barking, right? Well, then she kept barking and she keeps looking over him like, are we still barking? Are we still barking? He's not barking anymore, so she But anyway, but I like all kinds of things, back to this, and I am a Christian, but I'm non-denominational. I've learned that the denominations, and this is a whole nother thing. Maybe I'll do another talk on that later, but the denominations, and trust me, when I'm talking, these are my personal feelings for myself. If you belong to a denominational church, and that's where you feel comfortable with your church family and your Christian family, I applaud you for that, and that's wonderful for you. These are totally 100% my life thing. It's the bubble I'm in and my thoughts. And if you're sitting on the fence on the way you feel about certain things, there's some people out there that were like, I never even thought about leaving the church because they're like a family to me. And I'm like, if you don't feel safe walking away from that, then don't. But what's really funny is you don't have to walk away from your family, that church family. You just don't have to. You don't have to buy into that anymore. It all ends at the Bible, in my opinion. So this is why I'm going to have to do another video on that. And I probably will. So I'll take note of that because I'll give you an idea where I'm from. Because I've had family members unfriend me on Facebook and stuff telling me I'm not Christian. I'm not a Christian. I'm not Christian enough to be a friend of them because of the things that I post and the stuff that I talk about and I like. And I'm like, and then I'm sitting here going, I'm not Christian enough because I listen to certain music and I say certain things, and I'm like, I'm not Christian enough? So you're a staunch Christian. You're what I would call a religious person. But I don't hold that against you. That's your decision on how you want to live. Judgy much? I mean, like I told my friend, my one friend that I've been friends with forever, who happens to be homosexual, I told him, I'm like, I don't agree with your lifestyle. I never will. I'm a Christian. I don't believe in that. And he goes, whoa. And I go, but that doesn't mean I don't love you and that we're not still fam. We're always going to be family. You just make decisions that I don't agree with. That's between you and God. I can't pass that judgment. Do I like what you do? No. But I'm not participating in that either. Like, you're not asking me to join you. Thank God. But I'm not the right sex for him anyway. But, I mean, you know, what? But anyway, I'm not religious. I'm Christian. There's a difference. So anyway, I'm going to get off here because I've been on here for 45 minutes and counting. And I'm going to start a different video. And I'm going to have to make notes to talk about other stuff so we can have something to talk about. Because I need something for her to talk about. And maybe keep it on point. Stay in subject and not go off into la la land like this one. So my next video that's going to be coming up here, it'll probably be about this unicorn. Unless I want to talk about, yes, we're going to do the unicorn. I'll talk about other stuff later. I love you guys. Hey, hi to new subscribers. And if you're watching me and you're not subscribed, it's not going to hurt you to hit that little bell and get a notification so when I put another video up, you can join along and maybe you can ride the rabbit trails that I go on. Or not, whatever. But, you know, go ahead. It's not going to hot. It's not going to give me a thumbs up and ring that notification bell down there. Because I quit editing my videos. And as far as, you know, splicing them out. And I also don't put the intros and extras and stuff. I ain't doing that shit no more. Sorry. Sorry about the shit word. Sorry I said it again. Anyway. I'm not doing that anymore. Oh, you like my shirt? My daddy got that for me. And that's a whole nother thing. That's a Christmas thing. He likes black. He likes that. Was it black rifle coffee? Anyway. Hey guys, see you guys later. Take care. God bless and be kind to one another. And I will catch you guys here in a few minutes, right? We're going to talk about unicorns. You know, those fictitious, crazy little animals. Love you guys. Bye. See ya.